Welcome back to another Advance Wars by Web replay review. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to Humida for allowing me to be one of his co-commentators. In the APC2, each round has a different guest co-commentator. There's going to be a link in the description, and you should definitely go check that out. Check the one with me, and then check all the other rounds, because all the games are super exciting and all the commentators were super good, except me, of course. I was the lowest elo commentator, but it was good. It made some good entertainment because you've got my subpar analysis with Humida's expert analysis, and it just creates this perfect concoction of chaos. And it was honestly so much fun, and I was like really nervous the whole entire time, but oh my gosh, it was unforgettable. It was a blast. I was trying so hard not to fangirl out the whole time. I got into that Discord call with him, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Oh, no, don't fangirl. Oh, all right. But enough fangirling. Then fangirling after the fact. Let's get into this game, because this game was a unforgettable thriller. Okay, do you remember in the beginning of Kung Fu Panda when Tai Lung escaped from prison and he said, "I will fight the Dragon Warrior, and our battle will be legendary"? Well, that's the opposite of this game. This game was legendary for all the wrong reasons, okay? I mean, this game should be illegal in 27 states. This is just an absolute abomination. You should check out that APC2 coverage and look at some actual good players play, because this game it's a travesty. Let's get right into it. So you've got me in the red, and those of you who've been following my channel for a bit know that I posted a video called My Best Game Ever, and it's not close. It was on this exact same map, Profound Recollection, as red. That was a tier 3 match, and this is a tier 4 match, so we got that classic tier 4 add-on here, but we'll get to that in a second. And yeah, so I played that. It's a really good game, best game of my life, and then I played this absolute stinker. So you never know what you're going to get with me. That's the beauty of the inconsistency, is some games I play like advanced noob, and then some games I play like an actual noob. So yeah, let's talk about this adder matchup. You got your classic tier 4 standard adder mirror. No day-to-day abilities, so that's pretty easy. Side slip, +1 movement. Sidewinder, +2 movement. And then plus the extra 10% attack and defense for popping your power. So pretty easy right there. But Adamirs are always very exciting. You got units flying across the board. And this map is a classic strong side versus weak side. Kind of dynamic, but you have this middle, which is very open. Not a lot of woods or mountains to block shifting. You got these like sea tiles here. Just enough to be annoying. Otherwise, yeah, it's pretty much, this is my strong side, this is my weak side. Contested properties are these in this line right here, basically. And then you also have these exposed HQs. I think Sammy designed this map because she loves those exposed HQs. So you gotta be careful. You can like turn a strong side attack into an HQ push very easily. But right now, so far so good, right? You're wondering what all the hubbub's about, but that's coming. Going to use the black boat to transport infantry to try to get as many of these forward cities as possible, because this is my weak side. If I don't get these now, I'm never going to get them. And my opponent kind of did the same thing with this one. So I opted to get this advanced city, my opponent opted to get this one. No idea which is better, but I think like these all kind of come under fire. And then we both built tanks here in the middle. Once the tanks move up here near the comm tower, then they can easily shift to both sides as needed. So nice flexible position for the tanks there. So far, so good. And yeah, just looking like your average match right now. But it's about to not be. I'm going for this interrupt. Not saying that, but this is a good shot for me, and like not gonna blunder just yet, because no infantry reinforced, tanks too far away, and then if this infantry shoots back, there'll be a 4-4, and then this infantry will just twinkle toes back onto the city right here and get healed back up, and I've successfully stalled this city out for 2 turns. So just trying to deal slight economic damage there to blue, trying to get the smallest of advantages, wherever I can. Yep, there's the 4-4. Now I have to back off or else this infantry is just going to go ham. And now this infantry is eyeing the city right there. So I got to be careful. Airport gets captured. And we have a mech. The mech is going to go in the black boat and be able to be transported right in the front lines and help defend against my tank threat. So not a bad mech play when you got that black boat able to ferry mechs around. But they're, like, it is still hard to shift the mech, so you could drop the mech off over here, shift it to the left, shift it to the right, but then you can't like shift it back and forth like maybe a tank could, because the mech just don't have that. Mechs don't have that mobility. So backing off, backing away, back to blue, and we're going to see all these cities get captured. And there's the mech over here getting ready to defend this city. And blue is actually not going to attempt to capture, which is probably a good start. When you like go for a capture, it's like basically signaling you're ready to start a fight. And then the opponent can either just let it go and let that city get flipped, or like start bringing in interrupt and you start fighting over that city. But my opponent does have the numbers here, but my tank will be able to come in. And this mech also has to be careful because infantry do substantial amount to mechs. Not as much as regular infantry, but I think you do like a solid 30% if the mech's on a building, which is not bad. You get 2 shots, that mech's at 4. Alright, build a copter to counter these 3 tanks that are going in, and here comes... This is not a bad move, right? Sacrificing the 4 to slow it down? Well, here comes. This is when I officially took my brain out of my skull and threw it out the window, because this is about to be the most awful play you've ever seen. I go in for this guaranteed 2-shot, right? With 1 comm tower and it being knocked down to a 9, that's a guaranteed 2-shot. Not bad, but I'm going to lose this infantry, right? Worse. I am going to move this tank up and get this. Looks like a nice city shot, right? And then I have this tank for coverage. Looks smart, right? Wrong. Very much wrong. Very big blunder. This is just a free tank for blue right here. Because if blue... Well, blue doesn't even have to high roll. Blue could attack from the woods. That's like a 6-7 maybe. And then blue attacks from here. This tank is either at 1 HP or 0 HP. It's a roll. I don't know how high ever like what the chance is of this actually being knocked out, but it is a roll. So I would just lose the tank, and then or it's at 1 HP, and then this tank comes up to this city ready to fight back in. So then I would have this tank come in, hit that 7 over here, and I would just end up losing that tank fight long term. So that's exactly what's going to happen here. My opponent's also going to get this, because I just let my opponent walk over here on the middle island for no reason. Just not good board vision from me. And the mech is protected by his infantry brethren there. You got to be careful. That tank, getting that first strike on the mech would be huge. But yeah, there's the tank in. There's the 6-7. And Clang gets the roll. The tank is gone. No infantry to put on the city itself. But the damage has been done. I've completely blundered a tank. And if I want to take this shot in here, then I could knock that 7 down to 2 or 1. But then these other 2 tanks just do the same thing and clear it out. And then it would be 2 tanks and a 1 HP tank to 0 tanks. So that is just a clean tank blunder from me. Definitely punched the desk after I realized that. Actual just flagrant idiocy right there. But so now I just have to back off because I'm like, well, I lost all that territory now. And maybe I can make something happen over here. I'm not going to go for this interrupt. I do build 2 more tanks. I'm like, I've lost this. I just need to attack my strong side. Oops, I did not mean to pull the damage calculator up. Trying to use the mouse to navigate the replay so you don't hear me slamming the keyboard every time a unit moves. But maybe that's just my meme, you know, like how semi-original guy likes medium tanks and abhors neo tanks. Well, maybe like my thing is going to be slamming the keyboard when units move. That's going to be my little meme. Alright, we have an anti-air to counter the copter, and these tanks shift over to the middle as well. Great positioning from blue. Now contesting this city, and this guy can go for a capture and be okay, and I think that's a yep. So blue wants to start a fight over here. There's a good chance this doesn't go through, right? I can easily interrupt it and pop this guy, but with the tanks over here, the anti-air coming in, blue is content with starting a brawl right here. And That's the Grim Guy strategy, and Mangs talks about this every Grim Guy video, is Grim Guy gets his opponents to fight on his turf, and then starts these elongated brawls where their opponent's just fighting and fighting, but it's on Grim Guy's turf. And that's why Grim Guy is able to come out ahead. So my opponent's kind of doing a similar strategy here of like, this technically isn't my opponent's turf, but my opponent's got the vehicle advantage right over here. So, I mean, it kind of is their turf for right now because I've lost it. My opponent's also going for this. So with that tank sacrifice, I have delayed that city for exactly 1 turn. Very bad trade right there. That is a free copter shot for me, though. The anti-air is too far when my opponent built a copter of his own. Or her own. Oh, by the way, I didn't talk about the player matchup. You got me. I'm rated 1,030 right now. And you got my opponent, Raul Velez1992 at yahoo.com, who is rated over 1,000, like 1,015, 1,030-ish when this game started. But as of me checking their profile, was around in the 900s. So going through a bit of a slump, unfortunately, as of this recording. But hopefully they've been able to pick it back up and cross that 1,000 level barrier, and actually got matched up against them again on that 3-base mixed base map. So we have another game in the works, and we'll see if revenge can happen there. But right now, let's focus on this game. Side tangent over. Preparing an attack over here, and now I want to start the fight. I'm starting this city. My opponent can either let this go through, and then we will just trade these cities right here, or can fight into this, which I want my opponent to fight into this. I got 2 tanks in the area. This tank could rotate over, but I think I need to defend the middle a little bit. So we'll see how my opponent reacts to this. I also just form up the rest of my units near the HQ. And my opponent's going to capture a city. My opponent's up 3 cities now after this gets flipped. And bringing the copter in, wall of infantry right here. Not going for the interrupt, so we're just going to trade cities. My opponent will still be up 2 cities at that point, so they are. It's a very smart decision to just let that city go. You know. Going in to grab that city. And I'm down 2 whole cities, right? So I'm down a whole entire tank, down 2 whole cities. I really got to make something happen. So we'll see what I can come up with here. I'll move the blackboard over here, but it's going to run out of fuel pretty soon. And move the copter over to maybe hit this HQ. Because that's kind of my only hope right now. And I'm going to shift on this city. If I can get this city, I equalize the income advantage. And I'm just trying to get like the smallest like glimmer of hope I can get. You know, the smallest silver lining amidst the cloud. That's all my terrible blunders so far in this game. But maybe if I can get this flip, I can get back into the game. And shifting units all the way over here as well. And I'm also kind of thinking about that HQ. That, you know, that's a good win condition right there. And my opponent is just going to move around. Shift some units over, use the blackboard to block, and these 2 infantry have an eye on this city right here, so probably not going to let me have that for free, but just taking a defensive position. My opponent obviously does not need to start an attack over here. Anti-air is going to move up to try and chase this copter around, and my opponent's now going in on this city. Pretty much guaranteed. You could block with the tanks, but that does give up a tank shot, but my opponent's just content to have this like little tank armada over here and get ready to start slamming into my HQ. So I gotta be worried about that. Oh, and 2 more tanks get built. We got 7 tanks on the left side of the map. That's absolutely brutal versus my 1. It's like the Brazil. The Brazil 7-1 here is coming in an advanced war. 7 tanks to 1 tank. But I'm gonna start that city like I said. I'm gonna bring this tank over to defend the HQ because that's where all these tanks are pointed. And then I start attacking infantry. I'm even going to attack this infantry right here. Now this does give up a tank shot, but I have this tank to trade out. So maybe I can win this fight over here. Just desperately trying to make something happen. Moving the copter as well. Anti-air shifts over here to counter this copter. Except this positioning by the anti-air is just completely asinine. I mean, like, what is this? Why am I putting it here? Like, is it going to go through the coral reef? Like, what is that? I needed to have, if I wanted to put it over here, alright, like that's fair enough, but it does give up this anti-air shot, so that'd be kind of silly. Tanks can't reach it. Well, actually with the power they probably could, because these power is about to come online. So I needed to move the anti-air over here, shift it around the mountains, which admittedly would take a couple turns, but with added movement powers, it wouldn't, you know, be the worst thing in the world. But instead I just slam it over here into this coral reef for no reason. Just absolutely atrocious. So now I go in, can't get the roll right there, unfortunately, but I did stall the city out, but not for long, and trying to start a fight over here. Maybe something can happen, making a defensive position with my infantry, and built a medium tank. I see 7 small tanks. Well, the only way I can beat that is with a beefy boy, a medium tank, because, I mean, these tanks do not do that much damage to medium tanks, especially on a building. Take a look at this. 11 to 17% on a full HP medium tank on a building. On a planes, still not that much damage. So, the medium tank is how you counter small tank spam. And now my opponent goes in over here, takes a shot, and it now is going to go Operation Infantry Cleanup. Bang! Infantry's damaged. This infantry's damaged as well. Clang! That infantry's gone. And that infantry's gone. This tank, nice shot for my opponent, damaging my tank. Now, I will win this one-on-one long term, because this will be an 8 next turn, and I've got the good terrain. But with so many backup tanks, my opponent can take these subpar engagements, and it's actually good. Now going on in this city, there's nothing that can stop it besides this anti-air right here. So good city capture there, about to be even more ahead in income. That city infantry gets picked off, and there's the side slip. Now the copter is able to move up, and this infantry using an extra movement to pick off that infantry right there. So I've lost like half my infantry over here, and let's just take a shot over here for good measure. 3-9, and that 5 HP just does some damage on my infantry right there, and the other tanks move up ready to join the battle. And there's an artillery. Smart buy by my opponent. Now the medium tank, if it just sits on the HQ, then the artillery can just come up and in a couple turns just start blasting it. Alright. Anti-air uses that extra movement to go one-shot that infantry right there, allowing this infantry to straight itself off for damage, which allows this infantry to get a guaranteed one-shot on that infantry. 7 HP infantry on a road, no chance. Gets that tank trade, bang, 9-3. Infantry comes up, does all that, goes in with the mech, takes a shot there. Good value trade for blue right there, knocking that tank down to 6, and then the mech is already pretty much made up for its value with that one shot alone. So good value trade there from blue. And now brings the other infantry over, getting ready to just start cleaning up my units over here. Builds another copter. My anti-air is just really out of position, so this copter build is really good. My black boat finally succumbs to the fuel drain and sinks to the bottom of the ocean. I bring this 1 HP tank back, because what else am I going to do? And I start shooting at infantry because, like, I mean, like, what else am I supposed to do? I get a not a great shot right there, 8-6. And then I activate this side slip. Taking out some infantry, just sacrificing this infantry for some damage. Good shot there from the tank, but now I use this anti-air to kill the 6 HP infantry right here. This is, I mean, just absurd. This is, I shouldn't be allowed to have fingers to be able to use the mouse. I mean, why am I not at least using it? If I'm going to sack the anti-air, why am I not using it to interrupt this? This will knock this guy down to a 2 or a 3. And then at least this city is stalled out, like you'd have to spend an infantry to join cap. No. Instead I'm going to go after like the lowest HP infantry on the board and sacrifice my anti-air when I need it to beat copters. You should have either attacked this or shifted over here to counter this copter right here. So just not a good move there at all. Just dumb. But I'm going on these infantry right here, able to get one take out there, take out the mech, and use that extra movement to slap that anti-air, knocking it down to 3. Great roll. And slapping that tank, knocking down to 3 as well. But look at this, the only reinforcement from blue is the copter. So as long as my copter survives, I'll be big chillin', at least over here on this side, because my copter will be able to counter their copter. I also need an anti-air, but I had to spend money on this copter right here. I need some counter to this copter, because this anti-air is obviously going to die, so going in on this city as well, just trying to make threats over here. This is where I'm strong. I have to go in. I have no choice. Take out that infantry right there. Don't take it out. Knock it down to a 2. and blue flips this city. Now blue is up 1 city and goes in on the anti-air. Yep, no shot there. Anti-air is gone. More infantry are going to get just absolutely dusted. And bang. Now that tank is gone. Able to take out this infantry as well. Copter gets a shot. This tank's not going to shoot. It's just going to be an annoying blocker that I have to worry about. Now this tank's totally cut off. The medium tank is cut off. Going to take a shot at the infantry as well. Knocking it down to 3 HP. And that tank finishes off the HQ tank has fallen. And now this infantry, 1, 2, 3, needs a side slip to be able to start the HQ. But blue is big chill, and after this infantry gets hit, now these infantry are just so close to that HQ. I gotta do something. I gotta make something happen here. Copter moves up as well, ready to defend blue's HQ, and great value trade for this 3 HP anti-air right there, doing 4 to the copter and still surviving with 1 HP. So I shouldn't have brought in that copter too early. And I lose an infantry right there for good measure. And goes back, defends the HQ. Alright. So I'm like, oh no. This game has now devolved into an HQ rush that I am losing. This artillery will now cover my HQ. So if I can put the medium tank on it, I need to kill this 2 and get a side slip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kill this 2 HP copter, get a side slip, I can put the medium tank on the HQ. Then this artillery is just going to be in position next turn to start shelling it. So I am on a timer right now. I have to get an HQ cap. There is no other world that I can win this game. I have to go in on the HQ. First of all, I'm going to trade some infantry for damage right there. Damaging the infantry, but damaging infantry is pretty much the only thing I can do to save the HQ. Take out that 2 HP tank. Nice roll there with the infantry, taking out the anti-air. And taking out the infantry as well. More shots coming in. And there's the side slip. Now I can put the medium tank on the HQ and blast this tank. So I'm just trying to hold out as long as possible. But blue could just keep slamming units. And then eventually that medium tank will fall. And I decide to go in for this takeout right here. Obviously not a good trade for me. This tank will be able to get a nice city shot. But I need to get on this HQ. I cannot let blue have multitudes of units to be able to break through my wall capping the HQ. Gonna cap this. Just for good measure. Going to take some shots, take out an infantry, and go in on this HQ infantry, able to take it out. So I put the 9 HP tank on the HQ, absolutely necessary, because if this copter was going on the HQ, I would just instantly lose. This 6 HP is not going to do enough damage, and in fact, you're going to see that right now. This 6 HP just going for damage, good roll, knocking that copter down to 5, and this is only knocked down to 3, so the extra stats definitely helped me on that one. But I'm still going to lose this copter. It probably won't even survive the counter attack from blue. But I needed that damage on this copter. I have to get this HQ, otherwise I'm done. The black boat goes down. The copter goes down. And there's the side slip from blue. Taking a good shot. Clang knocks that tank all the way down to 2 HP. Copter comes in as well, and this is a great copter buy right here. It covers, well, with the side slip, it covers the HQ, and also I have no copters or anti-airs in the area, so these copters are just going to be doing whatever they want, and builds more infantry because you don't need anything else over here. Maybe another artillery would be nice, but blue could just save the money and build a tank over here as well. Just got to halt this HQ push, because mine's going to fall pretty soon. Blue doesn't even need to build anything here, basically. Maybe an anti-air too, but copter takes a shot, weakening my copter all the way down to 3, and goes in for some tank shots and infantry, just cleaning up all the rest of the orange stragglers right here. Starting these 2 cities, so I'm about to be majorly down in income. The artillery gets in position to start shelling the medium tank on the HQ, and this tank goes in for a shot, knocks the copter down to 2, but now, I mean, this medium tank's trapped in between the 1 HP tank, the copter, and this infantry, so no good targets for the medium tank, so good blocking by blue. And yeah, I gotta make something happen here. I mean, I'm on a timer. Take out that infantry. What else can I do? I go in on this infantry, take it out, put a guy on the HQ, move this 7 HP on the mountain to block this way, like the south side of the HQ. join my tanks to make a healthy tank for like a better wall, and able to take out this infantry with these two and wall off the tank. But this 8 HP, I was worried about it getting one shot if blue got a power next turn on the shoal, and then this tank getting blasted. So I have to use this 3 HP tank to block for this infantry, which is blocking for this tank. That is what is called the blockchain. Now, we go in, and I take this shot right here from this tile in case this wasn't a one shot, because it was a roll. So I could have this infantry come down and attack from the silo, but now he only just has to block. And then I move some units around, take a shot for some damage, because what else am I supposed to do over here? My only thing is if this HQ push doesn't go through this turn, I basically lose. And I take out that 1 HP tank, because why not? And build an anti-air, but it's too little too late, to be honest. And it is now blue's turn. And the sad part is, I could have made this HQ cap unstoppable. Unstoppable! All I had to do is position my tanks better. Instead of putting an infantry here, I needed to have put... Well, putting an infantry here is fine. I needed to put... I think I calculated... Now I'm like blanking on how I could have done this. Maybe someone in the comments can actually say how I could have made this HQ cap unstoppable. But I needed to have blocked this square. That's the key, where this broken pipe is. Because when I use this when I put this 7 HP here, right? This copter is this copter right here is the only thing that can attack that infantry right there. And if I block this side and this side, the only way that this HQ could be attacked, and the top, the only way this HQ could be attacked is from this mountain tile right here. So we needed the 5 HP copter to finish the job. But the 5 HP copter, if it moves out of the way to free up this copter to attack the infantry on the mountain from down here, then obviously the HQ is unstoppable because the 5 HP copter wasted its turn to move away. Which means I need to have blocked this tile, because then the only way this infantry could have been attacked would have been from this tile where the 5 HP copter is. Hopefully that made sense. But I did not do that. I needed to have blocked this once I cleared this guy out. Instead of using this tank right here, I could have used an infantry to block, and then this tank could go here, and then the HQ is unstoppable. But, alas, I did not do that. So my opponent takes a shot on the medium tank on the HQ, goes in on this mountain infantry, and low rolls. And the game is over. Yep, that's how it ends. That's how this game ends. The thing is, this was like a pretty hard roll for my opponent. Like look, 59 to 65 when I'm at a 7 HP. So unless I'm on the lower end of 7, then this infantry is gonna survive. But it didn't have to be that way. You get that side slip, you're only like 6k charge away. You get that side slip, now that's a lot more manageable. High roll guarantees killing the infantry, and even a low roll. If this is on a lower end of 7, that infantry is all but dead. So, I mean, like, I would need like an absolute miracle, like the lowest of low rolls, in order for this infantry to survive. And then this 5 HP copter knocks this HQ guy down to 8, which, I mean, admittedly is not like super bad for me. Then I can join cap, and I only have 2 capture points to go. But I feel like my forces at that point would just crumble, because I wouldn't be able to hold off against the copter and tank assault with no copter counters. And my opponent could have got that 6k charge pretty easily. You can use this 8 HP copter to attack this copter right here. And if you don't get it, you can just attack the medium tank with some of these smaller tanks. And between those, that should have gotten the charge. But now that that copter low rolled, you can get that city hit there, but there's really nothing else blue can do, and blue resigns. So there's a win I had zero business getting. I mean, I guess I could like say like, oh, I did a good job of like finding my win condition, which is getting the HQ, but I played sloppy a lot of this game. My opponent honestly had a pretty good game until this last turn, and maybe like built an infantry over here when a vehicle would have been better a couple turns ago just to halt this assault for a little bit. But my opponent had a solid game. Take a gander at the good old stats graphs, shall we? We got my opponent in army value just absolutely destroying me. Unit HP destroying me. Caps. Oh wait, that's like caps per turn. And damage dealt. My opponent destroyed me in like every single turn except for my 2 side slip turns. But other than that, I was just getting obliterated. So my opponent did play very well. I will say that. But this was a crazy game, and I hope to see you in the next one.